Hi, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet, and on the call with me today is just back from her honeymoon, Olivia Grisham.
Hi, everybody. Hope you all are doing well on this lovely Friday.
All right. So I've got a couple of poll questions up here right now, and one of them is, have you taken a few minutes to try to work with the staffing packet tool? And I see that there's several people on the call and only 2 answers. So if you could just answer for me, I would appreciate it. The other poll question that we have up here is, why would an EPIC customer become ineligible? And it's not so much about the fact that, thank you for whoever answered they're no longer receiving SNAP benefits. That's good. But what I want to know is, what would they do to no longer be eligible for SNAP? Because we know they have to be SNAP recipients. So what are some of the things that they would do if they were to become SNAP ineligible? I guess that's what the question should have been. So if you want to take a moment to answer that. And then we have a couple of new handouts in the file pod below the chat pod. You're welcome to ask any questions that you have in the chat pod. We do have an updated list for the CBOs, so please make sure that you download that and share that with all of your staff people who might not be on the call today. And then we changed the random assignment steps. I'm going to be demonstrating that for you as well. And if you have any new staff, please download the self-directed training for EPIC staff. And then also, if you have not had a chance to play with the staffing packet tool, there is a directions in the file pod for you to download and review. We also have a couple of videos that you can look at that will help guide you through the staffing packet process. We did a training on the 30th of June, so if you want to go back to the webinars and take a look at that, then you can see how you might be able to use the staffing packet tool to reduce some of the printing process that is killing trees across the world. Anyway, okay, so we've got some people checked in. And we've got some answers on our poll questions. We'll bring those back up in a little bit. So what we want to do right now is start in on the dashboard items. That's normally the first item on our agenda. So if Olivia would like to talk about the dashboards.
Yeah. So we're going to go over the intake dashboard first. And Dee put together this awesome little chart for us, and I'm going to pull that up, and we're going to use that to kind of walk through everything today. So one of the first items that we have here is the missed DHS orientation. And so you'll see here, Dee went through and pulled out the numbers of who has customers who have missed orientation and no information in their intake activities has been noted to show the next step for this customer. So if you see here on this chart, which you can also, I believe, download from the file pod, is that correct, Dee? I'm actually not seeing it in there, so we might not have it. I'm going to put it in the minutes, though, and I'll send that out to everybody. But for Region 1, we have quite a few offices who have a couple. It looks like there's only one office that has quite a few. Then for Region 2, everything is taken care of. For Region 3, it looks like we only have 2, which is good. Region 4 has a couple, and Region 5 actually has the most. Region 5, I know part of your county is, or your region is voluntary. If you have a large number of customers, you need to move to one specific spot, like in in a voluntary area did not show up, you can always send Epic at an email and we can bulk move customers for you so you don't have to go into 1,249 customers or something and mark them all as the same thing. So please feel free to reach out to us and we can definitely help you get some of those customers marked. Our second row.
What were you missing? Did I?
Oh, I thought it maybe was in the file pod to download, but it's not. But I'm going to put it in the minutes so they'll have it.
Okay. All right.
So the next row is the no-show CBO intake. So these are customers who did not show up for their appointment with the CBO and need to be put through conciliation by you guys. So again, we have a couple in Region 1, not too terribly many at any office. Same with Region 2. It looks like we only have 15. Region 3 has everything taken care of, and Region 4 has just a couple. And it looks like Region 5, you only have 1. So just make sure you guys are staying on top of those, getting them put through conciliation, and hopefully getting them re-engaged back with the CBO. But that number definitely is going down, which we like to see. And then the third column is referral pending, not scheduled. So these are customers who have not had an appointment date specifically set for them to go to the CBO. We don't have too terribly many of these. Region 1, you guys only have, it looks like 4, 5, 6, 9. Region 2, you're good. Region 1, you only have 1. And Region 4, you only have 1. And Region 5, you only have 3. We really need to make sure that we are getting appointments scheduled for these customers right away. If you guys could try to have this cleaned up by Wednesday next week, that would be great. If you are unable to schedule them because the CBO has no appointment dates available, please send Epic at an email and let us know which CBO it is, and we will reach out to them and make sure they get those appointments scheduled. And then we have referral rejected customers. So these are customers who showed up to their CBO and for some reason or another did not qualify for that training program. They may not have been eligible to participate in the training program. It could be something going on with them medically that they are unable to participate, or they could have told the CBO that they've decided they want to go with another training program. So for these customers, we need to just make sure that DHS is getting them back in the office and getting them realigned with a different CBO who can best serve them. And we don't have too terribly many of these customers. I think we're up to about 40, though. So we just need to make sure that we're not letting this number get any bigger. These are the customers who do want to participate, so we want to make sure we're getting them in as soon as possible because we don't want them to change their minds. The only reason they're not participating right now is because for some reason they're not able to with that CBO. So definitely make sure you're getting these customers in right away, getting them realigned so we can keep that momentum going for them. And then we have a couple customers who have been marked on the 2151A as no longer appropriate for provider services. Our CBOs are only marking this if during one of the staffings they are told by a DHS staff member that the customer is no longer appropriate for services with them. They could have been canceled or lost their benefits for a period of time and then the CBO is instructed to mark them this way. It could be due to a medical issue. They may be exempt, but no longer appropriate for that specific training program. These customers, we just need you guys making sure they're coming back into the office and determining what the proper next steps for them are. This will vary a little bit depending on the customer and the situation, but we leave that up to you guys to determine the next course of action with them. And it looks like we only have 3 of those customers, 2 in Region 1 and 1 in Region 2. And then our final row is the recommend sanction. These are customers who have been put through conciliation by the CBO, and either the CBO was not able to get the customer to come back in for that conciliation appointment or they may not have agreed to the terms, or they may have violated the terms to which they agreed to. So the CBO is uploaded to 2151A, recommending sanction on, and that is something we have the customers come to you guys for. So we just need to make sure we're getting these customers in and getting them put through sanction in a 30-day time frame that we're given. We do have quite a few customers in here. It's not an extremely high number, but it is slowly creeping higher and higher. So we just want to make sure we get a good hold on that so it doesn't get too large and difficult to maintain. So do you guys have any questions at all on any of these numbers or any of these specific areas that we talked about? I don't see anybody typing, so I think we're good. And like I said, always feel free to reach out to Epic at IllinoisWorkNet.com for any questions or help, and you can also always email me or Dee, and we will be more than happy to help you. Dee has been working with these dashboard numbers quite a bit here recently, and I am going to jump back into that once I get situated with everything. So we will be reaching out to you guys, asking you guys to get things cleaned up as we come across them. But if you ever have questions, don't hesitate to contact us.
Olivia, type your email address into the chat pod, please. And then I just uploaded this document into the file pod below so that you can print this off and look at it. Now, I did run these numbers Wednesday evening. So if some of you were being proactive, you may have changed a few of these numbers between Wednesday night and this morning early. But in most cases, I think these numbers are going to be very close to the same as what I printed down. All right, are you ready to move on with the agenda, Olivia?
I sure am.
All right. Now, also I wanted to note that there are a couple of lines on the intake dashboard that have the yellow lines about applications and need review. Deidre and Olivia and I have been working on those numbers, and we're down to like 1s and 2s. So I didn't feel that it was important to add those numbers to our chart. But please be aware that those yellow lines all need to be looked at on the intake dashboard. All right. Do you want to talk about intake projections?
Yeah. So the next thing we're going to go over is the statewide intake projections, and then we will go over region by region. So we are currently at 87.8% of the way to our goal. We have 4,390 customers who've been put through random assignment. So that is awesome. We are almost there. I get more and more excited every time I look at these percentages. For Region 1, you guys are 78.4% of the way to your goal. So you guys are almost, you guys have almost reached the numbers that were set for you at the beginning of this program. Region 2, you guys are doing amazing. You guys are 145.5% of the way past your goal, I guess I would say. So definitely keep up the good work. You have already exceeded your numbers, but keep going, keep doing what you're doing, because we are going to use the extra numbers that you guys get to help balance everything out. So definitely keep doing what you're doing. We really enjoy watching your numbers skyrocket the way they do. Region 3, you guys are over halfway to your goal at 60.8%. Keep working and getting all those customers through. I know you guys had a little downtime when one of your, I'm not exactly sure what the position was, but one of your staff members moved, and they were kind of in charge of getting the customers in for orientation, so you had a little lag time there. But you guys are definitely coming back from that, and your numbers are continuing to rise, so we like to see that. So definitely keep up the good work. And then Region 4, you have also surpassed your goal at 104.8%. You guys definitely keep up the good work. I'm sure you guys are very happy once you had finally reached 100, and now you are above that, so good job. And then Region 5 has also surpassed their goal as well at 129.7%. You guys have constantly been working very hard through this whole program. I've always been very pleased with your numbers whenever I've had to go through and look at them. So you guys continue to keep up the good work as well. We have a lot of really good numbers coming through. Everybody is really working hard, and we're getting closer to the end. So make sure you just keep going as best as you can until we finally reach that 5,000. And thank you guys all for all of your hard work.
Great. All right, the next item on the agenda is the use the CBO list in the restricted resources. I just put the link for the EPIC partner page, and I know when I was doing training with you guys, I said that this is probably the most important link that you could ever do because of the fact that it has all of the tools and everything that you need, all of the directions, all the handouts, any instructions, all of that kind of stuff that have anything to do with the EPIC program. It's all right here. And what I'm doing right now is I'm pulling up my screen, and from the EPIC dashboard, all you have to do is hover over your name. Let me make this just a hair bigger yet. All you have to do is hover over your name, click the down arrow, and under EPIC Partner Resources, it will take you to this page, which is the EPIC Restricted Resources page. This allows you to access contact lists because this is locked down. Not everybody can access this. It has the map of the DHS and CBO offices so that you can take a look at the locations. It has instructions for the random assignment portion, which hopefully we've only got 610 more people to randomly assign, and we can go from there. This also has links to all of the websites for the agencies and their brochures. But what I want to really show you is this full list of resources that are available to you. And when you don't get them from the file pod, you can get them from the list here and see that all of the forms and things that you need are all here, all of the directions. So when we show you something new to do, or the process has changed a little bit, you can find the updated directions always right here. Speaking of the updates, one of the things that I want to show you, and it's going to add one more small step to the random assignment process, but it's also going to make it a little bit easier for all of you to be getting information. So, for example, I see that Cesar Zavala is on the line from Englewood, and he was probably not getting the information about the Englewood customers because it had Ben Hernandez from Mid-South listed as the primary contact. So what we're doing now, coming up into the future, it should be up and functioning by Monday. On the assignment tab, you go to that after you've randomly assigned the customer, and then the customer picks whatever program they decide that they finally want to do. And once you are done, you pick a DHS primary contact here based on what the customer's number is. So if their number is the, what is it for Englewood, Cesar? Is it 218 or 2? I get so confused with all you guys' numbers. Englewood is 208. So if the customer number over here says 208, then you're going to pick Cesar because he's the primary contact for that office. If that doesn't show up, the other piece that we're adding, just so that the primary contacts don't get lost for the CBOs, is on the progress page under contact information. It now says right here what the local office is, and then double check this piece right here because it says Mid-South, and that may confuse some of you. We want to make sure that the local offices are getting the information about these customers, not the people that it's not their customer. So then just double check right here to make sure that the primary contact for Englewood is listed in this box. So it's just one more tiny little step, but the other piece that you might want to use is from the restricted resources page. We keep a current list of who the DHS primary contacts are, so that's who is responsible for the staffings for all of these people. Now, this will not impact the downstate offices. Sorry, it will not impact the downstate offices, only the local offices in Cook County. But again, please just make sure that the person that is going to be responsible for the staffings moving forward is listed in this DHS contact box. Don't skip that step in the assignment process. Do we have any questions about this? And for those of you in Cook County, do you think this is a really good idea? Give me a raised hand if you think so from the little man at the top. All right, Caesar likes it. That's all that matters. All right, so now the next item on our agenda is the customer choice on programs. Approve all programs that are available. What I want to show you now with this is under the profile. What I've been finding as I'm going through some of these customers that we have to figure out are they in the right place or not, is on the eligibility review, because this is customer choice, we want to make sure that all of the programs are selected that the customer might want to participate in. First of all, it lets us know kind of that you may have had a conversation about all of these different programs with those customers. Secondarily, it allows us in the admin team to make changes to that customer's profile by knowing that you have looked at these pieces. The other piece that I'm discovering as I'm going through here is that I've noticed that people are skipping this eligibility review. Right here, the eligibility status, and once the person has been assigned, we can't change this. It locks it down. What we need to know initially is that this customer is currently SNAP eligible when we get the assignment or when you make the assignment. And then the other piece is right down here at the bottom, and I can't highlight it to show you, but it's the answer for this question. What program do you guess the customer is going to select? Now, if you're in Rockford or if you're in East St. Louis, there's really only one provider. So that makes it pretty easy. But if you're in Cook County, there's 17 providers. And so we need to know what program you think they're going to select. This is very important that this is done because this gives the study team the information that they need. It also gives us as the admin team the information that we need to make sure that the customer was eligible when you did the random assignment. Then also on here, if there are no programs, I found some of those people that needed to meet with a DHS officer, some of those yellow lines, I discovered that there weren't any programs that the customer liked. Or from reading case notes, they had elected not to participate. Right here in this eligibility status, there is also an option that says does not wish to participate. So if they go through the application and they go through the process of looking at all of the programs and they don't like any of them and they decide not to participate at that point, I'm going to click on this one right here so that I can show you who this might be, or one of these that might be. Don't assign them. So like right here, this customer didn't like anything. We're going to pretend that. So right here, I've got customer declined Epic services at this time. That's what you select. Do not take them through random assignment, because it causes a whole lot of grief if we have to remove the customer. That's not really an option. So don't assign them. Don't take them through the random assignment process. And I feel like I'm preaching right now, but it's very important because we still have things like this happening at least weekly. So please, please, please make sure that you're doing that. Next on our agenda is, I also discovered this week that there were a few people who did not complete their application. I believe they fell into those lines. And what we want to do, one customer apparently showed up, had an issue happen at the orientation, had to leave. I'm not quite sure if the customer completed their application or started it and then had to leave, but what we would want to do is, instead of scheduling them for follow-up, we would want to just reassign an invitation date. And then you click Save at the bottom. So if they didn't show up and they're going to come back, say, next week, then you would just click on the date, change it to next week, and pick an afternoon session or a morning session, and then save it, and it will save the information there. Then one of the other items that I've discovered, when the customers are randomly assigned to control, meaning regular SnapIn as they know it today, many times you don't come back, you don't return to the assignment tab. And what that does is it leaves the customer, I'm trying to get back to my list here where I was just a moment ago. It leaves them in this column here that says needs to be scheduled for consent, where the random assignment actually happened, but because you did not return to the Epic profile and click on the assignment tab, then it acts like the customer hasn't been completed. So please, even if the customer is assigned to SNAP, you need to return to this page. Excuse me. You need to return to this page, click on it, and then give them the copy of this download SNAP, the notification letter. If you click on it, it has that customer's name, and you print it off for them. You give this to them. So they should be walking out with this letter. And if that letter does not get printed, then that means to us that you didn't complete the process. And I believe I found 10 of those people in that list. So if you could please just remember to come back to the assignment tab, I would appreciate it. And I'm sure Areli and Lisa and all of those, and Deidre and all of those folks with the DHS admin team would appreciate it also. All right. I believe that I am done with the demonstration portion. I'm going to pull a couple of these poll questions back over and see what you might have for answers. So if you did not already have a chance to check in, please do that for us right now. The next meeting is going to be July 28th. Why do customers SnapIn eligible? So what are some of the things that they would do as an EPIC participant that they would become SnapIn eligible? And the other question is, have you taken a few moments to try to work with the staffing packet tool? Try to print one of the staffing packet tools. All right. And do we have any other questions? We have 22 people on the call and 16 have checked in. Sorry, 17 have checked in. So I need 5 more people to check in by area.
I quickly, before we go over these poll questions, I have 2 things I just wanted to cover really fast. We've covered them before, but I just want to bring it up one more time. First of all, I just want to make sure that we all are communicating to the customers during orientation that they're not necessarily going to start the training program right away. They will be assessed by the CBOs, and there might be a meeting or 2 in between that where they want to interview them and kind of hone in on where the best place for the customer to start is. So just make sure we're communicating that to the customers. And then secondly, just make sure that we're not sending personal identifying information via email. I have gotten way too many emails that contain customers' SSNs and full names and date of birth, and that information cannot go in emails. If you are communicating about a customer via email, you need to use an ID number, whether it be their other participant ID, their RIN number, or their DHS case ID number. And you can even include like the customer's initials, but do not include their full name. So just want to make sure that we're all on the same page with that.
All right. And the other thing that somebody just answered here, they are exempt from participation, does not make them EPIC ineligible. It just means that they may or may not have to proceed. One thing that we have found, and we need to clear this up, is even if the customer is exempt, the referral can be rejected. And in many cases, it's because of a medical exemption that keeps them from being able to do the training, or maybe they've got, it could be mental or physical. It would really, really, really help if you guys could do some screening at the beginning to make sure that, you know, when they're going through the application, are they having problems comprehending and reading? Are they asking a lot of questions? Is their application complete? Some of those things might indicate that maybe they should not be randomly assigned. So just because a customer is outside of the 49-year-old age, exemption for SNAP, they can still volunteer to participate. The one thing is they cannot be a TANF recipient. Okay, I'm not seeing any other body typing. We don't have any other questions. Olivia, are you done?
I am.
All right, well, then I'm done. We're done. And we wish you all a wonderful weekend. And we'll talk to you again on July 28th.